Hello and welcome to IGN Plays Live. I am Jose Otero. This is Brendan Graver.
Hey.
And we're going to be playing Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is an anticipated Wii U RPG that you can actually buy right now.
This very moment, on the eShop or in stores.
Yeah, and sadly, one thing you can't read yet is IGN's review for the game. So sadly, we have, or at least I have, hit a few roadblocks. We want to finish it. Our editorial policy is to do so, and so here we are. So for the first 3 minutes, we're going to take some questions and just talk about it for you so that you can sort of get at least our impressions of it if that's what you're waiting on. If you're not and you just want to score, come back Monday.
If you want to ask us questions, I'm looking at our Twitter, so tweet with the hashtag IGNPlaysLive at IGN. I will read them. I will also look at our streaming site on IGN.com/IGN1. You can see me in chat, Rag_Fraga.
Yeah.
Ask us questions.
YouTube, Twitch,
I can
all
try
you
and check
kids.
the Twitch and the YouTubes.
Yeah,
and
bring
everywhere
your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them if
I'll
they're
ask
reasonable.
the first question.
Oh man, what's the first question?
Is it good?
It is good.
Good?
Yeah, it is good. I can safely say in the 53 hours that I have committed to this game, that in terms of scope, scale, and the way the world feels, art direction, all those things really stand out. I do think they struggle in some areas with like some of the fetch quest stuff. I feel like sometimes that just feels like a bit padded out and bloated in some ways. Some worse than others, right? Like there are some fetch quests where you have to go out and do something, but then there are others where you have to collect random collectibles, and they'll tell you only the continent, but they don't really tell you what section. So you feel like you're kind of wasting time trying to find that one thing, and that can sometimes be a bummer. But otherwise, in terms of a lot of the game, once you get those skills at 30 hours, it's just like, wow, like this is what I want. This is it. This is the moment.
It's nice to see when a game rewards you for investing all that time with some nice, juicy rewards. You said 53 hours you've played so far.
Yeah, and 30 up to the skull. That's the preamble before you get a skull.
Do you think so far is that a good amount, too much, too little?
So I think it does go quickly, and I think I understand why it exists. In Xenoblade, you're sort of charting this really hostile world, and the idea is, humans are refugees, you're trying to survive on this harsh planet, and so you are discovering uranium veins and other resources that you basically fold into an economy. Now, why is that important? Well, you learn at the 30-hour mark when you get the skells that skells are very expensive. They're huge investments, not just in terms of the customization angle that comes with them, in terms of like weapons and armor and making them better, but also in terms of if you break one, they cost money. Ugh. If you waste its fuel, that costs uranium. And so there is an economy, at 30 hours, there's an economy in place that folds neatly into, well, now you've got this expensive toy, go do these really cool things. But I will say the skull license exam is awful.
Worse than the DMV?
It's like going to the DMV. It's like an 8-part fetch quest, or an 8-part quest, some of it more fetchy than others. And it's just really, it's a weird spot for it. Like, I've been in this game for 30 hours. Why are you disrespecting me like this? Like we've been together for a while, Xenoblade. What's going on?
So we've got a question on Twitch from Mario3000 says, any harsh difficulty curves?
Depends. There are a few bosses that have given me a run for my money. One thing that Xenoblade does do is that if you die 3 times on a boss, they do offer to lower its difficulty. And only that boss, not the entire game's difficulty. So it does try to meet you halfway, and that's opt-in. It's up to you. But yeah, there have been some bosses that I've gotten in, and I'm just like, typical like with RPGs, I will run in, and I'm like, oh man, like this guy's stronger than me. I'm going to have to do some grinding or some side quests to pick up my experience and my level so that I can wreck this dude. So I have run into that in a couple places, but otherwise, like, it's been relatively smooth. And I do like the amount of freedom you have in terms of what you can and can't do.
I got another question on Twitch.
All right.
Eric Millington says, is the combat real-time? Watching the videos, and I'm kind of confused.
Okay, so I'm going to explain that to you, so stick around, Eric. But yes, it's a mix of real-time and then command, like special moves. So think of it as like if you've played an MMO, or like if you've played WoW, or another close console counterpart could be like Final Fantasy XII, or even the last Xenoblade. Like it's sort of the same style of system. These are all games where you pick a battle in real time. You don't get into random battles. You pick that fight, when you see that enemy. And then you are automatically attacking at regular intervals, and then you choose a special move that will highlight, and do a special attack. If you time it through soul voice with one of your counterparts, one of your teammates, you get health. You get health regenerated, but then you also get different stat boosts that will affect and help you out, better either defensively or offensively, which is really cool. A lot of numbers popping out of you. A lot of the folks at IGN around my desk who would watch me play this game felt that the UI was a little crowded, and you're going to see that in a few minutes.
It is kind of intimidating.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. Yeah, and at times, it can almost look impenetrable, but there's actually, you do pick it up and learn it pretty well, I think.
We have another question. Eric Oz, at Eric Oz 1980, tweets us with the hashtag IGN Plays Live, and he says, "It's a huge game. I'm a busy guy. Can we get much out of it if you only play a little at a time?"
I think so. I think you really have to come into it knowing that it is a very long game, and you can get I think it is designed in a way where you do have that freedom to kind of choose how much you want to get done and how quickly. With a review deadline, that's not fun. I hate to tell you that, but I'm trying to not get stuck on that and instead appreciate what I think the game does really right and what I think it does wrong. But I will say that, yeah, I think as long as you're in it for the long haul, if you really think that a 60-hour campaign, let's say that's the timestamp, which is what it seems to be, or a 100-hour game even, like let's just say you're a completionist and you want to do the whole thing. If you want to see that through all the way, then you need to commit. But if you're not going to, then I wouldn't recommend picking it up.
Beer Brewer 32 asks, "My wife loves RPGs. Is this one worthy of putting under the Christmas tree?"
It depends on the RPG she likes, though, because just because she likes RPGs doesn't mean she likes every RPG.
That's true.
So give us some examples. What's your name?
Beer Brewer 32. Give us some examples, and we'll kind of let you know.
Yeah. So we're gonna cut over to the game now. I'm getting hand signals from our good, awesome producer.
Screen size.
Yeah.
You got black borders.
I got black borders? So I'll back out and fix that while we continue to answer questions. Hey, Ben, can you make sure this gets clipped so that we can put this up on the site, just this whole review impressions? Thanks. A little bit of behind-the-scenes action for you guys. Bring the questions. What else you got? While I fix the black border problem. Technical issues.
Two Guys, One Tank on Twitch asks, "Without spoiling anything if possible, does the story connect at all to Xenoblade Chronicles?"
In the 50 hours that I have played, I have not seen anything to suggest that. But that said, there is a character who's wearing like a little nod to Xenoblade
I think I saw
on
that
her
in the
person.
trailer,
Yeah. So I don't think they necessarily have to be related. I mean, Xenogears didn't feel very related to Xenosaga. Xenoblade didn't feel related to either one of those games. They are very big epics, and they are going for different things, I feel. So yeah, no, I haven't seen a case to believe that they're related yet, but I'll keep you posted.
Mad Dog 231 says, "Does it have any secret mechs, or do you have to buy them all?"
Yeah, the first hit's free. That's good. After that 8-part quest, it was good to know that the first mech you get is for free. The rest you do have to pay for. They are very expensive, which is another reason why the economy is such a big deal in this game. So yeah, you're gonna have to buy them all. But the way everything is set up, once you have Moranium, which is the resource you need for fuel, and once you have money coming in and revenue coming in from all these different places that you've excavated, essentially, you are building up that money over time just passively while you're doing other things, plus the money you're getting from quests. So basically, this game is constantly throwing money at you.
So do you think the grinding is kind of like
The grinding is more for the level and XP. Like in terms of money, you're not grinding for the dough. At least I don't think you are. You're just playing the game the way you would be. Yeah, no grinding for the Skrilla, as we like to say. What you got next?
Who else has questions for us? I will read them on Twitch. I will read them on our Twitter account with the hashtag IGNPlaysLive. I will read them on IGN1. I'm in all places. Let me go to YouTube. I haven't been to YouTube yet.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that really stands out. I will say that there's going to be a spoiler-free live stream. We're not trying to spoil the game for you. In fact, I'm going to jump into the UI and just make sure that any prompts for what to do next, because anytime I'm going to finish a subquest, they basically toss me back to the main quest, and it would show a prompt as to where they want me to go. I'm going to make sure that that's not there. We're also going to try and give you a nice tour of the world as it is. I'm going to run around and do some subquests, maybe show you some monsters if you want to see some of that stuff. show off really awesome skills. We're going to customize the skill together. So we've got a couple things that we're going to show you today.
In answer to your question, Bilal Tariq, the game is out right now on
That's
the Wii U.
right. If you're in Europe or in North America, this is finally out. This
Just
game
for the Wii U.
has been in Japan for a while. It's only on Wii U. Artistically, it is gorgeous. I mean, we could cut, Ben, why don't you show them the lovely title screen? Because they're teasing these skulls the entire time you're playing this thing. They're reminding you that skulls
Tenerim
exist.
on YouTube asks, what is the goal of the game? Killing innocent animals? Because I've seen a lot of that.
No, it's survival. They crash land on the planet Mira. They were chased by one of two alien factions that had a war over Earth and destroyed Earth. They don't really know why that happened, and now they've crash landed and they need to make the best of it. But there is a more harrowing circumstance that I don't want to get into, and there is a very cool twist roughly a couple chapters into the game where they sort of lift back the veil and you learn something you didn't even realize.
Huh.
And I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a really smart twist, and it becomes the fuel for the rest of that campaign. So there's no Monado, there's no secret, or special weapon or the ability to use time travel in order to prevent someone's death. Like, it doesn't really deal with those themes that Xenoblade Chronicles did. Slight spoiler, on Wii and 3DS.